mar SHA. Kawadhi nyime en ni jatend piny William Ruto otelone nyasi mar nyisruok mwandu jo-ohala matindo e kar romo mar KICC kama dhialo odiocheng ohelni matindo. Wawinjane kaka jatend piny loso e nyasino.
In fact, we will be going to give out the houses shortly. Carl here and his team, they have put together the whole jo-ohala sector around Soweto in Kibra. They have shared the windows, they've shared the hinges, they've shared the doors, and they now have a contract of 720 million. Is that true, Carl? How much? Is it 7,200? 720 million shillings. These jo-ohala people. A contract of 720 million would ordinarily be funded by the World Bank or something, because it's such a big contract. But now these jo-ohala people are doing it. And as Hinga said, it is not just in Soweto. In the 200 sites we have across Kenya, in our 44 counties so far, we have jo-ohala sector working with us with contracts to produce for our affordable housing program and for our markets and for the hostels we are building. Let me just speak to one final thing that was said by Carl. And he said, we are borrowing money from the banks at 18%. You know? The banks are here, and they are my friends. And we have had this conversation. They told me, the problem, Mr. President, is that government is borrowing at 16%. So if government is borrowing at 16%, we cannot lend lower to the private sector. I have worked on the economy, and I am very proud of what we have achieved in stabilizing the economy. We've brought down inflation from 9.6% to 3.8%. We've brought down the exchange rate from 165, now we are at 129. We have brought down TB rates. And I want to ask these good people from the bank. We brought down the borrowing of government on treasury bills from 16% where we were when we had the conversation. Now the TB rate is 8.5% from 15. Your interest rates to Carl is still at 18%. Please explain to me. You know? I mean, that's the question. You know? You told me, Mr. President, reduce borrowing by government, because if you are borrowing at 15, we cannot lend to Carl at lower. Now, I have done my part. I have reduced borrowing on TB bills now to 8. I have actually reduced it by half. You are still, explain to me, why are you still at 18% to Carl, please? You know, this is really the conversation we must have. And I appreciate that the banks are lending to the MSME sector. You've just told us you have lent 81 billion shillings. Part of that lending is to Carl and others. But you see, you need to be fair, you know, because you're making good profits. And